Okay, greetings and welcome to our weekly indulgence in mainstream propaganda. This isn't something, well, basically, I try and keep away from the mainstream media as much as possible. A couple of hours every Sunday night, I'm happy to come onto this channel, YouTube, riff with the likes of Susan, David, Random Games, KG, and have I missed anyone? Let me see. Mud like Digging Up the Thames, and discuss this rubbish. Personally, I don't buy any of it, as I'm sure most of you are probably aware. I know most of you are of the same opinion. Mainstream. Oh, didn't mean to press that one. Yeah, none of it's to be trusted. We know that one. Yeah, the actual title of tonight's stream is Ignoring Their Monkey Business. And we have a picture of, it isn't 22 because I've cropped a few out. There's about 16, let's see, however many people are in those videos, in the pictures, in the thumbnail. That is, of course, a reference to, it's the anniversary today, the 22nd of May. I haven't followed the news particularly today, but wouldn't be surprised to hear of something play out. I'm not sure. Of course, things are playing out 24/7, so why should anything be different today? The video we played in the pre-show, if any of you guys tuned in for that, was a reference to the Emiliano Sala footballer hoax. Now, the reason I touch upon that is quite recently, I've often, one of the last videos I put up was of, let me see, bear with me 1 second. I put up a video of 153. The website has now changed their address. It's now .to. Interesting, they got taken down actually. Right. Can I play it without the audio a second? Yes, if you're familiar with 153news.net, then you'll know it got taken down just this week. Apparently it went down at the same time as a white supremacist website, and the reason I believe it went down was because they showed footage of the Buffalo incident that we looked at last week, and it made me think, as much as these events are about maybe scaring people into believing that of course guns are dangerous, but just maybe making people think that they're trying to take their guns when in reality they're just trying to censor the internet. That is how I wonder if half of these stories are about. In particular, the other reason I say that is if you think back to the Christchurch mosque incident that took place in, again, I want to say 2019, then every YouTuber that put up the footage of the supposed attack had their channel taken down like that. It was instant deletion, and it reminds me of Emiliano Sala, actually. I was telling Dagjab this in the comment section earlier. He left a comment about why I thought 153 News had gone down, and yeah, remember when I covered that story about Salah, the footballer, and the helicopter, someone sent me a link to a photograph on some website, I can't remember what one now. I clicked on it and it was supposedly the headless body of the footballer, and of course, what were they telling me to do? Or these people were hoping that I would take that picture, put it on my stream, and have us inspect it, and my channel would have gone like that, instant deletion for any channel that put up a picture of the body of Salah. But it was interesting that it was almost as if someone encouraged me. I also remember someone else once encouraging me to cover a story, which I didn't. and it was the London Borough attack, I think, and it was where everyone suggested that a police officer and the attacker was seen dressing up as a police officer, something like that, and it was very quickly called out, discredited as being wrong, and it was just designed to try and divert me down a path which probably I shouldn't even look down. We've talked about controlled opposition, remember, just the other week. They're out there. They're definitely out there on YouTube anyway. Right, I'm going to have a look at the live chat. Susan Byrne, was he found? Yes, he was. They did find Salah. I don't know about the driver, the pilot who flew the aeroplane, the helicopter. Apparently, now there was another guy who I haven't heard from ages, but he was in the comments chat. He used to comment a bit. He emailed me a couple of times and sent me a lot of information about, not a lot, he sent me some information about the pilot of that helicopter. I wanted to say Ibbotson, his second name was Ibbotson. Anyway, there was a post about a month before the Salah incident where he's trying to sell his aeroplane, which is the exact aeroplane that crashed in that particular incident. So it was curious, coincidence maybe, that just a month before that event happened. And I thank Tommy, he was called, I don't remember his second name. He is a photographer in Europe somewhere. Tommy, I can't remember your second name, but you might not want me to say it anyway. But he sent me a lot of photos. It's a lot of information about Ibbotson, and yeah, it just seems like the usual suspect story. Anyway, 153 News going down. Let me just turn the audio down, and we'll play it in the background. Yeah, at this time of the stream, of course, I would like to thank my supporter Linda Mack for supporting me on Patreon. But at the minute, I am actually saying if anyone's got any means to support people, and I'm going to do this myself, yeah, I would ask that maybe you look towards supporting 153 News. That would be, because it looks like their URL going down means that they've lost all their traffic, they've lost people who upload to them, and they've lost their funding. They are a completely, I'm not going to go on about this too much. I do have, though, which I will quickly pop up, rather than put my own Patreon QR code that I normally do. There's a link to supporting Jason Boss and his 153 News channel. Sorry to, raise this subject, but it sounds like they're not far from turning off the lights in the next week or so. So if you did support me anyway, I would certainly be putting it towards 153 News. So if you're in a position to do the same, there's a QR code on the screen. Right, have I even played this video yet? You've probably seen it. Right, on with we're going to look closer. But it was interesting. Anyway, 153 News put on, they uploaded the footage of the guy going into the supermarket in Buffalo and supposedly shooting people. And as I no doubt did this other website that also went down at the same time. Jason tells us about a website that got taken down at exactly the same time, no doubt for also playing it. I wouldn't be surprised if when these videos are released, they're coded in some way that they can identify them, and they know exactly very quickly and very easily. Right, I'm going to put the live chat back up and we're going to look at that in a minute before we start. But I wouldn't be too surprised if these videos have got some sort of think in the software, in the tech, where they can, let's see, chatted. I am going to pop that up every so often. Sorry if it's the pain and you don't want to hear about 153 needing support, but they do. But if you don't want to hear about it, then you'll have to cover your ears every couple of minutes. Well, not every couple of minutes, at least once again before the end of the stream, because I am going to pledge on their behalf. And if you don't mind, actually, I wouldn't mind quickly taking you over to their website and just showing you how easy it is to support 153 News. Where are we? Here is the main website. This is the screen you land on. Just check you are actually seeing what I'm seeing. It would appear so. And just under here, there's this is their count for the month. Apparently by the end of May they've got to reach this number. And there's a little button there. And there's all sorts of different ways you can supposedly help them. Why isn't it loading then? The problem is actually on this is the URLs have all been changed. So if you do click on this button, you'd be better off scanning the QR code that I put out there. Very easy to do. But you have to change .net to .to now. But you imagine how much that change would affect a website. It's harsh. Yeah, there's loads of links on here. Cash App, Zelly, PayPal, Bitcoin. Loads of ways to support the guy. And as Jason, right, I'm just going to quickly cover this and we'll move on. But yeah, as Jason said, his site is the only one which they don't play any ads. If you notice, anytime you go on here, you'll never be asked to accept cookies because he says he doesn't use any of them. They're literally trackers and he doesn't include them on this website. It is one of the few websites I go on where I don't have to agree to let them value my privacy, and they very much value privacy. So yeah, if you want to support a website that's still prepared not to sell out your privacy, then why not, hey? Support it or it goes away in this case by the sounds of things. Right, we're going to move on tonight then. Right, I'm going to catch up on the live chat for 1 second. Yeah, I hope you guys are all doing well, by the way. Right, David has pointed out that Liam and Chloe were people from South. There was a big tribute in their newspaper. I'm guessing Liam and Chloe are the couple in the middle. We'll have a look for them. Mudlight says, these people are probably all CJ. Yep, read that one. David, lots of people pay tribute to Liam and Chloe in my local paper. Okay, apparently they were. Cameras are everywhere apart from Westminster Bridge. David, watch it every morning. Have done for the past 3 years. Okay. Good to know, David. I think I would be as well. However, right, what's the story? What are we kicking off with tonight? I wanted to cover 153 News. They are in peril, so if you ever use it or you ever think, I upload videos that YouTube delete. I started uploading them also to BitChute because I couldn't log into 153 News, but I've got that sorted now. So, yeah, the channel, Jason is a really, seems like a really honest guy. He's someone else who observes the Sabbath day. I often mention that, and he also does. Sounds like, someone I wish all the best, certainly. Okay, yeah, Ariana, Manchester. I did come across this story. Actually, I'm going to start with I'm going to start you guys with another video, actually. I'm going to talk over the top of it. Hopefully the sound is okay. Where are we? Let's see. Corey. Okay. I'm not sure how loud this is going to be. See what you think. Anyway, just watch this for a minute. I might mute myself. Hang on. Oh, hang on. I've got to change my sound settings. My apologies. Otherwise, you guys don't hear the audio very well. So if the Emiliano Sala audio was terrible, you have my apologies. I didn't check that one. But that is what pre-shows are for, of course. Okay, you should now get to hear Coronation Street. I'm going to turn it up a bit, actually. Just watch this scene. This was on Friday, just the other night, okay?
It's a lovely bench, isn't it?
Who do you think they're talking about? They brought flowers to this bench. This is in Coronation Street. Again, I've got another video I made on this. We could, maybe if we're going to have an interval tonight, or maybe we could watch the video I made on this very scene that they're talking about. I'll play it on.
It's just a crying shame at even us to be here.
For 5 years on Sunday.
I know.
Could have been any one of us, couldn't it? Any one of us from this street.
Our kids. Grandkids.
They went out for a concert. And they never came back. Oh, Lily loves Ariana Grande.
Oh, don't, Gail. It doesn't bear thinking about. Of course, two being civil with each other.
Yeah, well.
Vile and sick pieces of filth coming out with this rubbish. Could have been any of us. Could have been our grandkids. The video I made on this was saying Coronation Street are breaking the fourth wall, or are they building a fourth wall? These programs are unbelievably deceptive. You would not believe the... See, they would have us believe the likes of Gail Tilsley and the other one that plays her mate, or they're enemies, they're bitter enemies, but they're reunited. But they're united with grief and love for Martin Hett. That was one of the supposed victims of MEN. Martin Hett was a Coronation Street superfan, and as a tribute to him, they promised, it sounds to me like product placement, because at the same time as they extended the set and started including, they've got a Costa now on the street, they've got a Co-op and some other things, and one of the other product placements they did was this story, Martin Hett, The Bench, and this is what they've been paying for. Yeah, this is a basic blatant product placement situation in mind. I think we're at the end of that stupid story now. I hope you guys are familiar with Martin Hett. I've made plenty of videos on him. Let's see the live chat. I haven't checked that, sorry. David, right. Philip, right. Greetings and good to see you in the live chat. So Martin, you're absolutely right. The Manchester fraud, rest in pieces. Maria Ennender, good to see you in the chat. Virtue signalling. Exactly. It is everywhere on TV now. They do not waste a second. There's no wasted motion, as I believe I heard Russian vids say once. Every second of airtime, they cram in as much as they can into every second of TV. This being 22nd of May. Right, we're going to have a look at the story that I saw. Yeah, it's kind of virtue signalling, but that is almost, virtue signalling is almost, what's the word, ignorance, in a way. People that, right, hang on. Yeah, people that get behind such stories in real life. It is ignorance. This story, Manchester Arena family living the best lives they can. Why are they doing that? What were the how much was each victim of this paid? I don't know if you remember. The likes of Oasis, is that right? Yeah, Oasis got behind the Manchester charity that raised a ton of money for the victims of this story. And Gail from Coronation Street would have you, or the makers of Coronation Street, would have you living in fear, believing that you could go to a concert and some lunatic's gonna detonate outside because he hates you. That is how much fear you should live in. But at the same time, they would have you believe that you could walk around a corner slightly too close to a person with a bug and you'll catch it and you'll wipe out every member of your family. That is basically what they'll have you believe at the moment. So how can people... Yeah, in a way it is virtue signalling. Perhaps that's a good use of the word, actually, Maria. I do like that word. Because it is a signal. You're right. They're signalling their ignorance. The mask, for example, it's a what would you call it? Cheat, escape. On a computer game, you often get like cheats where you can just bypass it. Well, how do they bypass this lie? Tell everyone to put paper masks on, or something you've just made yourself, or a piece of tissue you just picked up off the floor. Cover your mouth, and that'll make you safe. And then you can go out and live your life. Anyway, at least I'm moving on from that rubbish now. These people, after being paid out ridiculous sums of money, does anyone else see what I see here? I'm just gonna highlight this person. Oh my goodness! Oh, twice actually. Let's see. Look at this nice, neat square jaw on this woman in the middle. The haircut, obviously designed to hide the brow ridge. And on this person, yeah, on this one, I don't know, can anyone else see that? The wide shoulders. And the quite square jaw. This person in the middle as well. Goodness me. You would have to be ignorant not to see that this is basically a man. Once you know what you're looking for, they're unbelievably easy to spot. And yeah, you don't have a hard time saying this person's got a square jaw. This person's got ridiculously wide shoulders, and they're, again, square, wide shoulders. They have a brow ridge. They are not what we're being told. Are these supposedly Eva, Natalie, and Eva? Sorry, Amelia, Natalie, and Eva Senior were in the arena foyer when the bomb exploded. Let's see if they put any... How long till they mention the numbers? I just hope you can see this well enough. Will they mention that these people all got ridiculously big payouts? Right, David said, if it happened to me, who would give us stuff? What if you were blown up in a arena? You would be big news, David. You would be massive. You would be, your face would be used for all these, you would be in the press. If you had just happened to be fortunate enough, in the words of Martin Hett's father, or stepfather, whatever it was, again, it was this photographer who I mentioned earlier, Tommy, who was telling me about Martin Hett's parents, that they claim he's got a set of step-parents, two sets of step-parents, but it looks like one of them, or both of them, are basically the same person. They've just used their previous marriage name or something. Right. A lot of people suffered shrapnel wounds. Eva's mum, Natalie, suffered 7 shrapnel wounds. I'm not sure which one Eva is, or which one Mum is. Is that supposed to be this one? Amelia, Natalie, and Eva Senior. So perhaps this is Eva, the big blonde on the left. Right, I've always kind of burdened myself with when they were in operations, right? The fact that I was still walking around, I could still use both my legs and I could get out of bed in the morning and do what I wanted. So she was fine, she's saying. I was fine, yeah, I had shrapnel wounds, but I could still do whatever I wanted. Wasn't a big deal or anything. It was really hard to be such a young age and see all of the hurt and pain that could be inflicted on people you love the most. What a joke. That looks... yeah, here's their number. Coded number. Again, this person with the glasses, look at that brow ridge. That isn't normal. You do not meet women, young women, whatever age, with big, thick brow ridges like this person here is presenting us with. This here is Martin Het, of course, again, about whom that story was written. Right, so how... Right, Natalie has decided to retrain in mental health nursing after working in her family business. I met some wonderful consultants. One day I was sat in a children and young people's mental health services meeting with one of the girls and thought, you know what, I think I could probably do this job. I think it's something that I could really find rewarding. What, pretending that you were injured in a incident? Anyway. Helping others run in the family. Amelia is working as a childcare apprentice as well as a volunteering at her local youth club. Gotcha. That is a very broad arm. Again, are we seeing the same thing again? Ooh. This person with the Jack Willis top. Look at the size of those arms. They're pretty chunky, on the hands for that matter. If they're wanting us to believe that this was someone who was injured in the attack, then yeah, they must try harder. I think you'll find. This year, the senior family will mark the 5th anniversary at the newly opened Glade of Light Memorial in Manchester city centre. They've got a memorial. Brilliant. Let's have a look. I'm really proud of us, but you always have that pull back that you were extremely lucky. You always have that pullback that you were extremely lucky, and there's others that weren't as lucky that night. How lucky was she? There are families out there that can't celebrate the things that I am able to do, and that's tough. That's probably one of the hardest things to deal with, trying to make positives out of a massive negative and live the best lives that we can as a family. That's a beautiful statement by a very forgiving, very decent human being. Their motto. They've all got a motto, apparently. All the people that were in that incident have come together and they all agree to live by the motto, make things better in the world if we can. If we can, right. Or just make things absolutely miserable as spit for the people that are unfortunate enough to believe the rubbish that their story is, because it is rubbish. Bull crud till the end. Alright, I'm going to look at the chat. Okay. Philip says apparently buy the Ukrainian lager and all proceeds go to the relief fund. Yeah, that's a scam and a half. You're absolutely right. Why, if they've got the money to give to the people, the Ukrainians, if they can afford to help them out, these Ukrainians supposedly, got nothing. They're having to leave the country to make way for the building work that will be going on soon, and then why aren't they sending it? Why do people have to buy their beer in order to get help? That's like I don't know. That's like buy my set of sunglasses, and for every time you buy a set of sunglasses, I will pay for an ambulance to go out on a Friday night. What do you mean you'll pay for an ambulance? That's all paid for. I could do it, yeah, I could fund it, but I'd rather make you do some irrelevant task in order for me to be generous enough to donate, but whatever. Who was it said Dragula? I just saw that in the live chat. Philip Wright, absolutely. KG says, once you see it, you can't unsee it. No, you're absolutely right. And yeah, these people could easily be photoshopped onto here. We'd have to see him in a video, I think, and see what that reveals. You notice that person's hand looks very warped there, actually. Is this a sign of CGI? Let's just have a look. Wait 1 second while it loads up. What's going on with this hand? Oh, she lost a finger. I got it. And the rest are absolute talons. So she had a finger blown off in the event. Is that what we're to believe? Crazy. That's hectic. I thought it was just dodgy CGI. But nope, apparently she should have another... she lost a digit there. Oops. Got it. Nasty. Right. Eva's mum, Natalie, suffered 7 shrapnel wounds. Alright, I've read all this. Okay, we had another story we were going to look at. Where was it? I'm sure we opened another page a minute ago. Oh, William and Kate. Perfect. I wanted to touch on these people anyway. William and Kate open memorial to the Manchester bombing. 10th of May. Of course they would. What was that? Philip Wright said, drag alert. Yep, absolutely correct. CGI alert also possibly. This just apparently becomes the norm to see people look like this. And say OK Magazine, for example, some trash like that, some rag, will have us believe that apparently these people get voted like most stylish and most beautiful women in the world. Kate, bull crap. And nothing of the sort. They are absolutely nothing of the sort. The royal couple travelled to the city, Manchester, of course, to join bereaved families in a service at the Glade of Light Monument. After the ceremony, Kate laid flowers and the royal pair was shown around the construction, which bears the names of those killed in this suicide attack. Do they not mention the suicide bomber? Are they not, every time they mention these people, celebrating Salman Abedi and his brother? He was apparently guilty of it as well, despite living in a different country altogether. He got extradited for and charged with 22 murders that his brother supposedly carried out. Imagine that. Well, what are you in prison for? Oh, I did a suicide bombing. How'd you manage that? I don't know, I was in another country at the time. Crazy. 22 people died. Yeah, of course they did. They got to squeeze that number in. And hundreds more were injured on the 22nd of May. The Duke said that memorial, which features a white marble halo centrepiece, would be a place of solace for bereaved families and for all Mancunians. Just like we saw in Coronation Street, they've got a memorial to Martin Hett. These things do actually exist in Manchester. Park benches, crappy bits of wood with someone's name on them. They're out there. And people like this stand around and pretend it's a big deal. Just checking on my cats. One of them's been out all day, actually. Right, the names of the 22 victims were read out by the Bishop of Manchester. Yeah, these people always get behind it as well. Bishops and... what's the other ones? Oh, whatever's above a bishop. They always get right behind the ridiculous events. I remember one of the... Right, if you remember Katie Ruff, I've covered the story before. She was supposedly murdered outside a school, or by another schoolgirl, who believed she was a robot, and a vile, horrible, disgusting story for anyone that believes it. But you look at Katie Ruff, you know why they call her Ruff? Because it's just a rough draft. They haven't even bothered to do a final version. They've like, come on, we've got to do the story now. Well, we're still designing Katie. What do you mean you're still designing? Well, yeah. Just give us the rough draft. Well, what are we supposed to call her? We haven't even decided a name. Oh, I don't know. Call her Katie Ruff for all I care. That is the story of Katie Ruff. And the story goes that she had just moved to the area. She'd just started to school and got obliterated by another pupil that had issues. The family of four. Anyway, one of the local bishop or local priest or whatever he was, he claimed that he spent the whole night with the corpse, and the smile on his face when he says it kind of tells you everything. I'll see if I can find it now. Katie Ruff Vigil is what it was. This was the story. What type of, and all these people that you'll see, when they had their funeral, just seeing this picture of the funeral, what is the outcome? Do they have a quiet, private funeral? Or do they have the biggest event that anyone's ever seen? Well, not ever seen, but that for a funeral, it's ridiculous. Like, they've got cameras everywhere, people line the streets, and they've always got a horse-drawn cart. Always guaranteed a horse-drawn cart. They've got to have it. I kept a vigil, Archbishop of York. This is what I'm after. But he talks in the video, and when he says it, you can just see the grin on his face. Sellout, fraud, and bull spitter, the Archbishop of Canterbury, with his cartoon Jesus on his hat. What an insult. And again, pushing that rainbow in everyone's face. Yeah, you know, the rainbow being the sign that our Creator, God, will no more deluge the earth and wipe us out again. So he gave us the rainbow. Well, these people are taking that rainbow and mocking him with it, basically. Pretty crazy stuff. Yeah, he conducted a funeral for 7-year-old Katie Ruff. Last night, a coffin was brought to the chapel, where the Archbishop revealed he kept it. It wasn't easy to conduct the service, but I got to know the family 3 days after the child died. Katie had a very strong living faith. She always wanted to come to church. Which one is... She's not in any of these, I don't think. Oh, this is a different picture altogether. That's clever how they squeezed that in. I don't think she's in any of these pictures. Yeah, right. No video on this one, but they are out there. We'll have a look for his... We'll just have a quick look at this video. I'd like to see him actually talking. Right, look up. Yeah, when he talked, he had the biggest grin on his face. Right, I specifically want, because I've just got to wait for my computer to catch up by the looks of it. Still trying to type out the search term. Okay, I'm not seeing it actually, but I'm sure it's in here somewhere. Yeah, televised funerals. Releasing sacrificial smoke to the Queen of the Heavens, of course. Obviously, to the general population, covering this story and looking at it with a critical eye and suggesting it's anything like the mainstream media would have you believe is seen as pretty much the worst thing you can do. It is an insult as far as they're concerned to people that have lost their lives. Which, if it was genuine, yeah, of course it would be. If I genuinely thought it was a person had died in such a way, then I'd never make any sort of content on it. But right, I'm not going to see this interview, unfortunately. I do have it on a live stream somewhere. I think one of the first live streams I did on this channel. Right, I'm going to get off of there pretty sharpish. Anyway, yeah, here's the terrible the picture quality of this child in these pictures. That's probably the best one there, but it's still nothing more than... Okay, maybe we'll get to see it. Hang on a minute.
A horse-drawn carriage brought Katie Ruff's body through the streets of York to the Minster.
It's always a horse-drawn carriage. Martin Hett, who was the guy who died? Not David Dimbleby. Martin... I can't even think of the guy's name. Yeah, they always end up getting horse-drawn carts. Who else got one? They always wheel them out. Right, having a look at the live chat a minute. Just while... Do you want to see this?
Her mum and dad leading the mourners. They'd asked people to wear a splash of colour. On Katie's small coffin, cartoon colours and a poem from her favourite books, Dr. Seuss, reading, "You're off to great places, today is your day." The Archbishop of York, Dr. John Sentamu, said Katie had been baptised here and was a regular visitor to the Minster with school and family.
This guy will say anything. This priest will lie through his back teeth to be on TV. As far as he's concerned, this job has got nothing to do with... He's an actor, basically, working for the church. Whatever his faith is, he must be going against it, and he must know that he's lying out of his... Who knows? Who knows, right?
Today, relatives, friends, fellow pupils and strangers touched by her story gathered for a service of thanksgiving for her life. During the service,
look at that air.
7-year-old Katie was...
There's your... If you want to see the terrible CGI image quality... Look no further than the dodgy air in this picture. And this is what I mean about Katie Ruff. They never made the... They rushed the work, basically, that they did on it. I think they had to get this image out quite quickly. Another thing I believe they do is take the picture from a television screen. So they knock up one of these images, however they do it. They might use that website... This person is not real, for example. Yeah, there's an example of the crap CGI. Look at that air. Terrible, mate. There's your giveaway in that one. But, as I said, they never got a chance to make a final copy, so they probably would have smoothed that out in the next draft. But they wanted it done like that. They were on a schedule. They had to get this story out there.
Remembered for her joyful smile, her love of reading, dancing and trampolining. She was described as inquisitive and clever. Her family said they were trying to focus not on her loss, but on the happiness she gave them. And the art...
That's a very philosophical thing for a grieving parents to say. We're not focused on losing her. Again, sticking the tongue out. Every single week I mention this comes up. It seems to be in these... videos that we look at, sticking the tongue out, a huge form of mockery, and they're in everywhere. We'll see it again tonight, actually. Maybe that would be a good segue on in a minute. If anyone wants us to particularly look at something about the Manchester thing, then I will. Otherwise, I'm going to move on to another image in a second. I see Maria saying good night to Phil. Thanks for joining us, Phil, if you are on your way. T-Roof, good to see you in the live chat. Reverse Pythagorean. Okay, I'm not familiar with reverse Pythagorean, but DJ Carrera, good to see you in there. We're talking about the Mancarena. Yeah, the attacker's photo with his friends had a different angle shadow from his head, plus the taxi driver and his super hearing. Yeah, there were everything about that. We moved on actually for a second onto another example of archbishops lying to you. So when you see, where were we? When you see them get quoted during the opening of a memorial, then yeah, don't be surprised. Are we on the right? Yeah, I've kind of moved off this subject. I'm sure it was something about an archbishop came up, or I'm not sure. Right, I'll have another look at the chat. DJ's shared a link. Monkeypox was in a G7 simulation. Yes, I have heard. I did hear something about that one. We will have a look at the link at the end of the stream. As I said, this video, well, the name of what I put on tonight's thumbnail was ignoring the monkey business, and I said I doubt we can really ignore it, but we'll give it a try. Right. Where's the next bit? Maria says, is anyone else suspicious about Deborah James and her illness? She recently made a dame. Yes, absolutely, Maria. You were correct when you looked at that. I haven't carried on with that story. I haven't looked any closer, but I wouldn't be surprised to see that's just another Jade Goody as we compared it to last week. DJ says, how can this disease be in 10 countries at the same time? It will be anywhere they want it to be. I do think, if that's going to be the flavour of the month, as it were, I do think covering that subject might be a bit dodgy, and to be honest, I know nothing about it. I haven't looked into any of it, I haven't read any articles, I haven't watched any videos about the articles, so I'm completely ignorant on any of that stuff, and I kind of want to keep it that way. I seem like, do people not realise they've got a choice to say, don't care what it says on TV, I'm living my life, don't care what the government claim, I'm living my own kind of, I'm not listening to their trash anymore. But for as long as people are believing that Martin Hett walked the earth, well, we've got videos of him, that Safi Russo, I believe that was her name, and that's the only people I know. Chloe and someone else, which I believe must be these two strange-looking couples. Yeah, I am tempted to look at Martin Hett, but we've seen him often enough. But right, Philip Wright, you had to go. Okay, well, thanks for joining us tonight. Always good to see you in the chat. Hope you catch up with the rest of this at some point. Carrera says the explosion sound was put through the speakers, then they panicked. Yep, apparently people were also mentioning balloons. Apparently they had big balloons, and some people were wondering if it was just one of those exploding. Yeah, this incident has been very well covered, of course, over the years. Architect Andy Thompson, who was chosen by the families to design the memorial. When they say chosen, do you think they hired him, basically? Because I guess this sort of memorial, they're like, well, look, we've raised all this money. Let's have a look at some of what they've raised, actually. What was it called? One Manchester or something? One Manchester Fund. I'm sure it was something like that. And it made ridiculous quantities of cash. A community fund providing growth of social enterprise and voluntary groups across has bolstered. That wasn't it, I don't think. Funding, One Manchester. Yeah, I was pretty sure they had a specific charity set up for this particular thing. Maybe they've got rid of it now. Perhaps they've rebranded it. And it was all... Yeah, well, because I definitely know some of the videos I put up covered it, so perhaps I'll have to go over that. Or maybe that was on my first channel, actually. I do still have them somewhere. Right, let's have a look. MEN Survivors Charity. Nope, that's not what I'm after. Manchester bombing. Manchester bomb survivor, right. Survivors Unite. Manchester Arena terror attacks. Oh, they had Liv's Trust, set up in memory of Olivia Campbell Hardy from Tottenham. Olivia Campbell, which... Oh, that was the one that's wanted to sing at her mother's wedding. Sorry, it's ridiculous, this story. And she planned her mum's wedding. They were already married, but they thought, what can we do? Look, we've been given a load of money for taking part in this story. How can we honour our daughter? Let's pay for another wedding. And we'll do it exactly as our Olivia would have liked us to do it. Of course, you've no doubt seen my video on that one. It isn't a new one. I just want to know what the name of the charity was that they set up. And they had some gigs. Okay. DJ Carrera says Ariana Grande finished her set. Laugh out loud. I'm not sure if you were with us earlier. I'll play it again in a minute, actually. If you didn't catch it at the bit earlier. Let me see. Where are we? Yeah, we watched Coronation Street, where they were talking exactly about them being fans of Ariana Grande. I believe I played it long enough, didn't I? Where is that? Here we are. Yeah, where we had Gail and Eileen, whatever her name is, talking about Martin. This is a product placement deal, basically. If you didn't see this earlier, this is Coronation Street's memorial. Now they would have us believe that whoever this charity was that went round setting all this up, I'm sure it was one Manchester, but I don't know. Then, hang on, here we go. They really mumble, that's the only thing, so I'm going to put the audio up. So.
It's a lovely bench, isn't it?
It is. It's just a crying shame at even us to be here.
5 years on Sunday.
I know.
Could have been any one of us, couldn't it? Any one of us from this street.
Our kids. Grandkids.
They went out for a concert. And they never came back. Oh, Lily loves Ariana Grande.
Oh,
Okay, my apologies there. We lost the sound actually. I am. Thanks for letting me know, Maria Ellender and Susan and Maria again. Uh, my apologies for that. Thank you for sticking around if you did. Let's hope it didn't take too long to come back. Uh, yeah, sorry about that, guys. Okay, we were going to take a quick intermission, which is probably what I muted myself for. I do hope the audio wasn't off too long on that occasion. I'm going to be back in all of 2 minutes, okay? Thanks everyone for joining us tonight, and yeah, give us 5 minutes and I'll be back. Let's see. Okay, see you in a minute. I won't, yeah, just need a few minutes and I'll be back.
Going down there, you've actually rung up your documentary buddies and said,
Film
we've
it.
got a live one, let's go.
Yeah. Yeah, well, no, they just happen to be making this documentary anyway, by the sounds of it.
Ah, right, it's the same sort of thing,
That's
yeah.
even worse.
Yeah.
I don't know what's worse. Weird. I actually have.
Talk amongst yourselves for a second.
Yeah.
I have a bit of a kind of a crazy theory that I want to run past the two of you.
Yeah.
About these like false flags and stuff. So I'll wait for Critical Thinker to get back.
Sure, I'll just give you the name of that doc. Oh, it's ITV, sorry. It was called Inside London Fire Brigade.
Okay.
Covering 3 stations, Lambeth, Brixton and Battersea.
Inside London Fire.
I'm not sure if they mention Grenfell, but yeah, the first episode has been specially re-edited to include interviews and a very limited number of staff who attended the Grenfell Tower fire.
Oh, so I see they've done it. They've just started a documentary which is completely just about London Fire Brigade. And it just so happened, right, that the fire was kicking off. Right, I'm with you. Oh, gosh, that's so sus. Actually, that would be really interesting to see that. I can't watch it. I don't have a licence.
That's true.
Who's eating?
Yes, I'm rustling ice cream, leave me alone.
The clubs.
Right, did you hear what I said about my theory?
To run past stuff, yeah?
Yeah, did UK Critical Thinker hear it? About running
No.
No, right, okay. So I've got a kind of a little bit of an out there theory about psyopses and hoaxes and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I've also got one which I'll
have
maybe
you?
suggest afterwards about some of them, but you
good.
carry on.
That's interesting. Good.
Could be the same, you never know.
Well, you never know. Okay, so I'll try and narrow it down. Right, so a lot of the hoaxes that we see, some of them have kind of clear agendas, right? So obviously 9/11, going to war, and Charlottesville, the new Charlottesville. Maybe we'll come to that in a second, and what that might mean. But there has been a lot of little hoaxes, and some bigger, that don't really seem to have gone anywhere. Like, nothing's come of them. Like, no new laws have come, and nothing's really changed. Do you agree?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yep.
Right. So I'm wondering, and this is where it gets a little bit kind of out there a little bit, is whether, if you can imagine that, like I'm assuming we all agree that the elite are in on these hoaxes worldwide, right?
Definitely.
Okay, so how do you feel about that some of these hoaxes are literally like I want to describe it like a game of chess. So someone in Britain outmaneuvers someone in France. It's fun. They're not trying to literally outmaneuver each other. It's a game. And it's almost like I don't know if they bet on it or whatever they do. So someone in England creates, say, 3 false flag events in a month and raises so many millions of pounds and says, right, beat that. And then someone over in Germany goes, well, I can beat that, and does some massive truck attack and raises so many more millions of pounds. And they're just laughing at the public because we're going along with it. But actually, they're not there for any other purpose than their amusement. Do you get what I mean?
I buy that to a degree.
Yeah,
Sorry to say, I actually missed a bit of the last stuff you said. It broke. If you wouldn't mind just repeating that last couple of.
Okay.
It was a bit. Yeah, sorry.
No, it just that they're literally trying to outmaneuver each other, trying to outdo each other, but like for fun. So someone in England will stage a couple of events, and there'll be criteria on the things you have to achieve, and then someone else in another country, one of the leaders will, or whoever's in charge, well, or maybe it's just, you know, a group of elite who are governing different countries will then say, right, okay, well, we can do something in Germany twice as bad, and it ups, you know, ups the stakes. It's quite a bit of a stretch, but I'm thinking in a kind of, I'm trying to think in a way that kind of wouldn't make sense to you and I. You know, it's above and beyond the normal person. You know what I mean?
Well, I've seen things like the Illuminati card game, for example.
Yes.
But you never quite see the board that's played on, do you?
Well, this is that's kind of like that. Yeah, like these are just parts of a game. You know, like a chess game or like a game of Risk. You know, if you've ever heard of Risk, it's that kind of thing. It's just some of it is for some reason, and other bits are just for fun.
Okay, we are back, and that was Amazing Grace, as she is now known, chatting, and me ruining it by asking her to repeat it because my hearing's terrible. I probably had connection issues as well. By the way, we didn't have a drop in sound on this episode. It was our minute silence for the victims of the bombings. I thought it would be respectful to just shut up the audio for a bit. Let us all think about how serious the loss of the wonderful people who happened to go to a concert, and in the words of Gail Tilsley, went to a concert and they never came back. I've got my cat looking at me. He is after something. Probably wants to get on the table and sit right in front of the computer. He is most welcome to. Actually, that is something I want to bring up. It is another anniversary today, and it's an emotional one for me. I love this little fella. We lost someone very special to us. See, I reckon it was the 23rd, but my wife's sure it was the 22nd. I thought it happened on the 23rd. I've got a picture to share. I'm just going to check my audio is back now. Yep, sounds like I think I should have a rule. Even though today was a minute silence. Well, the cat wants to go out. Hang on. Let me bring this beautiful picture up. If you don't like cats, you might want to avert your eyes for a second, but hang on. I know what I've got to do. Right, you should be able to see what I'm referring to. This little fella. Go on. That was a couple of minutes respectful silence for this little fella. He was called Rascal. He had we first saw him probably in about 2017, 2018. He was this tiny little cat who used to run out in the street at me and follow me down the road. And one day, I remember it was a house, and they had a whole group of them. And they must have had about 6 cats at least. And one night we came back, and all of them were by our house. One of them tried to jump through the window and started eating food. And I remember I was quite worried about them. And what I actually later found out was their owner had died. Well, there were 2 of them that owned the woman, and she had all the cats and loved all the cats, and then man, he was left behind. And anyway, that night, I believe that must have been the night where she passed, and all the cats were, they needed food. And I remember going up in the evening with a bag full of dry food and just plopping it down in front of particularly Rascal and another one. And I think I fed about 4 of them in the end. Another one had come in and we'd let eat from the bowl because they were obviously desperate that night. And I was glad to... Anyway, this little fella, I kept seeing him and he was always like shaking, and I think it was malnutrition, I think, as I later realised. So we ended up inviting him to come in because he had like a disability. He did have a lot of issues actually, the poor fella. His balance was all off, and I don't think he could jump properly. But yeah, he was a beautiful little thing anyway. And yeah, he ended up, first of all, he got an abscess on the side of his mouth where his face swelled up, and we took him to have that treated. and they said it could be his kidneys, and then about a year later his abdomen just swelled up, it went horribly huge, and then eventually his paw, and we lost him over the last couple of days where we just kept him as comfortable as we could. And yeah, it was really, really sad time, and that was 2 years ago, back in 2020. But yeah, he apparently had a bit of a... We could tell you loads of stories about him. He was called Rascal, and boy did he earn that name, because yeah, he was a rescue cat from Birmingham. So to think he started in Birmingham and made his way onto my street, and we were lucky enough to be able to give him a comfortable couple of years where he didn't have to worry about food, and he was, I'm sure he probably had lots of people looking after him, actually, but we were pleased to be able to do it for the last couple of years. Right, that's my cat talk out the way. So yeah, so we have a couple. Well, yeah. The silence that we had earlier was a mark of respect to this little fella. He was only about 8 years old. Anyway, let's see. Thanks, KG. Say sweet cat. Crazy hippo lady just got a kitten. Yeah, we've never actually had a proper kitten. The youngest cat we had was the one we've got now. He's 12 and he was 6 months old when we got him. Apparently the people that had him he kept jumping into the baby's cot or something. Obviously wanted attention. Everyone gives attention to the cot, so he kept going to there. But we took him in the end. Right, the second half of the stream, we will be looking at some of the links that you guys have shared. Let's see, hang on. Yeah, I was saying about 153 and their need for support. I would, of course, normally in my stream mention my Patreon page, but at the minute I would say 153 News needs support. So if you are in a position to, then yeah, to keep a censorship-free website up that doesn't track you, doesn't have cookies, you never have to give it permission. Yeah, they're worth keeping around. So if you're in a position to support 153 News, the QR code is on the screen. You know what, I am just going to put it up on the side for 1 second. Where are we? Yeah, there it is. I'll probably put that up again at the end of the stream. Right. Okay. Let's see what the live chatter is saying. KG, yeah, I love cats as well. Right, we did have a link shared by DJ Carrera. He mentioned the monkey business, as we could call it. Let me just find that. A G7 simulation. Yes, I had heard something along those lines. Let's see. Thank you, DJ Carrera, for sharing this. Let's hope my computer is up to the job. NTI, 23rd of November 2021. Of course, we all know that there was Agenda 21. So, strengthening global systems to prevent and respond to high-consequence biological threats. In March, NTI partnered with the Munich Security Conference. Hang on. Okay. To conduct a tabletop exercise on reducing a high-consequence biological threat. The exercise examined gaps in national and international biosecurity. Basically, how can we sell countries a load of stuff? A load of an idea. Participants included 19 senior leader experts from Africa, Americas, Asia and Europe, with decades of combined experiences in public health, biotechnology, international security, no one can leave the country, and philanthropy, funding projects, I guess. Or dodging tax, is that actually what they mean by that word? They summarise key findings from the exercise and offer actionable recommendations. Developed in consultation with technical and policy experts, the fictional exercise scenario portrayed a deadly global pandemic involving an unusual strain of monkeypox virus that first emerged in the fictional nation of Brinia and spread globally over 18 months. Ultimately, the exercise scenario revealed that the initial outbreak was caused by a terrorist attack using a pathogen engineered in a laboratory with an inadequate safety and biosecurity provisions and weak oversight. By the end of the exercise, the fictional pandemic resulted in more than 3 billion cases and 270 million fatalities worldwide. That's crazy. I mean, what is this? Well, I don't know who these people are, where this website comes from. It sounds incredibly well written to be anything but genuine. I mean, I don't know who these people are. But, yeah, thanks for sharing. I mean, they've written an entire report. Who are building a safer world through innovation, cooperation, and action. The Nuclear Threat Initiative. Yeah, good one. Bit like, what's the other one? Global warming, I suppose. Partisan Global Security Organization. By the way, some of you guys were mentioning in previous live chats about the WEP. Yeah, I now know exactly who you're on about. Yeah, I've seen members of that organization before. So thank you for sharing that with me and educating me on it. A world safe from preventable global catastrophe. Yeah, just turn the TV off. I mean, global, what a vile word. To transform global security by driving, it says it all really. When that's in the title, you know. Right, NTI collaborates with governments and organisations to raise awareness, advocate and implement creative solutions. Okay, I guess these are legitimate people, and there was a legitimate tabletop thing that took place. How else are these sorts of products ever given a reason to be bought in? But yeah, thanks for sharing that one, DJ. I did hear something. Now, as I said, I'm ignoring it. I don't care what these people say. They're not having any effect on my life whatsoever. They are toxic, literally vile, toxic people, and they have no place in my life. Except for this couple of hours from 10 o'clock on a Sunday evening, where I do indulge in the mainstream media with you good people. Right, I'm going to put the live chat back up. Bear with me a second. Where are we? Right, there we go. And yeah, if anyone's out there watching and wants to share anything with us in the chat, it would be good to, if you want anything for us to look at before we close down. I do have a few things I want to look at myself.
NTI is needed today more than ever.
Catastrophic risk is going up.
There are more nuclear states, there are more nuclear weapons. These weapons are more lethal. A cyber attack could be used to
what utter crud.
Attack the security systems of a nuclear facility.
Haven't they been saying this rubbish for years? Haven't we been hearing since, is it the 60s, the 70s, that nuclear weapons are one day going to go off? And what's this? What are these spiky balls all about, do you think? Illness?
COVID-19 has demonstrated that biological threats are real.
Nope. What is this? What are we looking at here? Little balls in a petri dish. Is this supposed to be the virus? Is it? Good one.
They can.
Yeah, that's not the same thing. They moved from things bubbling around in a petri dish to this man-made image.
Be deliberately caused.
Oh, what was that? Something they caught under a magnifying glass, I suppose? Is that what they really look like, is it? So in those petri dishes where we saw those things bubbling around, is that really what they look like then? Hang on, where are we? This is where it started.
COVID-19 has demonstrated that biological threats are real.
Tranny alert very much. Look at those big wide shoulders. They've had work done on their forehead, or they've got an overlay on their forehead, probably more likely. Right, where's the spiky balls on it? So I'm guessing, I would say that, I mean, they could fake that image, but I would guess that is something for a magnifying glass. Could be bacteria, could just be water for all we know. I've never looked at water for a magnifying glass. Perhaps it does look like this, but I don't see any spikes on that. So how do we go from these images to that one, which is an image of just a drawing, cartoon, to this? And what is this meant to be? Is that meant to be a pathogen? A BS19 pathogen? Or is it all just for illustrative purposes, I suppose? Perhaps that's 3 different strands. Perhaps you've got Omi, whatever they called the other ones, and Demicron, whatever they call it, I don't know. No, I don't think so. I think that's a pile of crap.
By those same tools that can give us new drugs and vaccines and diagnostics.
Diagnostics, that's probably the key word there. Diagnostics, just the data, that's all we need. We're not interested in the rest of it. I'm not going to watch NTI's video for too long, but thank you for sharing. KG is saying good night. Well, thanks for joining us. Good to see you in the chat tonight. And Maria's also on her way. So I guess the audience will be dwindling now, but it is getting on for midnight, so I'm probably only going to go for another 20 minutes. But thanks for joining us. I really appreciate it. Let's see. Okay. We mentioned Baphomets and masonry poses, one of which, oh, hang on. Let's just check I'm shutting down all the correct things. Where was it? Yeah, I did see something. Apparently a major announcement is going to be made tomorrow, which could be devastating, or, you know, just could be more bull spit about the monkeys. Don't care, not interested, don't live my life by... I don't wait for television's permission to live my life, so couldn't give 2 spits what they say about monkey bullshit. Not anything I'm going to entertain myself with. However, they would... Oh, I've got a couple of things I want to look at. Where are we starting? I'm sort of curious, and like I said, I want to ignore it, but 80... Yeah, gradually they're now watching the numbers jump up as that video NTI mentioned a crazy strain which was caused by a terror attack, and it's affected homosexuals. What a freak show. Remember what we were saying earlier about the rainbow being the sign of, you know, God's agreement that he would never flood the earth again, which was done due to these people's, the people living at the time, their perversions and immoral behaviour and disgusting rituals. Well, they're all going on now, and they take that rainbow and they, you know, mock God with it, basically. whatever these things are, could be, I mean, it could be any condition. They could be cigarette burns for all we know. I expect they would give us that picture. I mean, it looks like a child's hand. So it could be anything caused that. I'm sure these images are just for illustrative purposes. I mean, for example, how did Getty Images manage to get both of these? It's not difficult to make an image, again, on children's hands. So is that the only people being affected? And of course, the warning signs are just like a flu. Where have you seen this crap before? It can pose threat to sexual health, right? So they're taking the same path as they obviously like HIV. Well, they enjoyed using HIV because that was a way of making people, almost taxing people's relationships, their love lives, making them buy things like contraception, and just finding a way to make money out of it. Not saying that illnesses and diseases don't pass by through that behaviour, but a lot of this stuff, saying it's life and death, it was a way to tax people's, basically convince everyone they're homosexuals and then tell them, anyway, I'm not going there with that. This seems to be getting massively linked. Are they basically saying same things happened again? The smallpox vaccine called Imvanex in the UK can protect against monkeypox because the viruses causing the illnesses are related. So they've already got something lined up. Here they are, a big product placement agreement. This is what everyone wants to get their hands on, Bavarian Nordic. They know if they talk about this crap enough, people will actually do it. They'll be queuing up at their doctors for a shot of this. So long as the mainstream media advertise, product place their crap, then people will want it. He would appear it's some element of sexual transmission, perhaps with just a very close contact between people and the skin lesions. Well, they've already got a name for that illness, and it isn't monkeypox, for goodness sakes. Didn't Bull Spit 19 start with monkeys? Wasn't it eating No, it wasn't monkeys, it was bats, wasn't it? Of course, I'm not. How do you catch it and what are the symptoms? Everything we want you to know. I've said this before, anytime you see everything you need to know, what they mean is everything we want you to believe. That is what they're saying about the tropical virus spreading the world. Monkeypox is spreading globally, there's that word again, for the first time in an outbreak that has caught health officials off guard. Yeah, right. Like they're not all super paranoid because they believe Bull Spit 19 is still round the corner. 11 countries, including Australia, have now detected the virus, which is usually only spotted within Africa. Yeah, thank you ever so much for that link, DJ Carrera. I expect they've already worked out all the numbers of how many cases they'll get long before they ever put it. How is it tested? Well, this will be interesting. Have they got people now reliant, absolutely dependent on being tested? They don't feel safe unless someone gives them a test? Is that what some people's reality is now? It's often confused with other infections such as chickenpox, so it could just be chickenpox. By clinical, I mean, that's what this woman had in this picture. And let's go back up. That to me looks like chickenpox. On the left, the right hand image. That on the left, I don't know what that is, could be anything. But don't let them sell you this. Don't let them sell you a monkey business. Meanwhile, Professor Sir Peter Horby, they've got a professor involved, so you know it must be science, of the Pandemic Sciences Institute. Okay. Described the current monkeypox outbreak as an unusual situation because the virus is being transmitted within communities outside of Africa. Normally only affects Africa, but now we should worry about it, apparently. Oh. I could cover a story about... We talked about Buffalo earlier. It's interesting how they want people to be believing that there's lots of hatred, racially motivated hatred. And while, okay, it's out there, I agree. I do agree with that people they buy into it and start hating other people based on what they see on television. That's where they get the idea for in the first place. By the way, trans alert, Lua Deepa. Is that a musician? Her Nostalgia Tour performance. Wow. These people are gross. I mean, how is this for looking demonically possessed? What is this thing? That's what I got to ask you. Are we looking at a man in drag? Gothic chic in a figure-hugging turquoise mini dress as she strolls Munich ahead of her. What are you on about? Her. Pronoun police, where are you? I think they've got it wrong. Yeah, I don't think so. Look at the state of... I'm sure we can see that. I mean, look at the height difference. Here's all these men. I know they're further behind. But yeah, look at the shoulders on these people. Again. Yeah, that doesn't really need saying. It's obvious. Probably everyone in that picture, to be honest. Okay, we've gone on to pictures of... Well, actually, while we're on pictures, I wanted to... Oh, this one. Where was it? Yes, I did have a link. Bear with me a second. I'm just going to bring up my list of links. Okay. Here we go. Yeah, these are pictures, supposedly. Talking about mockery again, I mentioned it the other week. How often they will always show the tongue sticking out. I think that's a big part of spotting a fake, as it were. Or just turning on the TV. We'll spot a fake, of course. Oh, have we lost our signal? Let me check. YouTube's still playing all right. Oh. Well, it says excellent connection, but it's spinning, so... Yeah, I hope it's playing all right for you guys. Let me see. Oh, that's weird. Excellent connection. It's spinning, so... Okay, I'm going to carry on. I guess that's YouTube being weird. Right, can we get this page to load? Nope. Alright, no problem. We will get there. Right, copy. We'll do it the old-fashioned way. Copy and paste. Unless it really doesn't want to work. Nope, doesn't want to work. What do you know? Okay, it's not a biggie. It was basically royal pictures where they'd put a picture of Prince Harry, and it looked so fake. It was him as a child, and you could sort of see where they... I am keen to see it. What was the title? Hang on. Photos of Naughty Princes, that was it. Let's see, does anything come up? Okay, nope, not exactly what. Yeah, here we are. This one. I mean, for one thing, what on earth is he wearing? This is supposed to be... I'm sure that's meant to be Harry, isn't it? Again, have them sticking their tongues out. Were they photoshopping the children back as far back as this? I wouldn't be surprised, yeah. I think they probably were. I mean, look how he's just stood up in the back of that car. We are actually going to be winding down in a minute. I'm just doing this for the last 5 minutes, and then I'm going to, thank everyone and say goodnight. Unless anyone has anything they want us to quickly look at. Yeah, can you guys see this? How fake this image looks? How ridiculously stupid it looks? Can I zoom in? Oh, okay. Where is it? Yeah, apparently there's a load of these slides. And how many times will we see the tongue stuck out? I'm not sure which one that's meant to be. I guess that's meant to be Harry. Don't know. No, that's meant to be Harry there. He looks just like Archie, of course. They pretty much just, reuse the same images. Look at some of these people here. Oh, can we look at it full screen apparently? Let's see how we get on doing that. You'll have to forgive my computer as it's going to take a little while to load. I'll try shutting some things down. Okay, hopefully that's a bit better. And you can see it alright. Of course, kids being naughty, what they mean is all the time we've created a photo of us mucking you. My goodness, look at this one. This is really something special. Have you ever in your entire life walked down the street and been presented by someone looking like this? That is my question. I'm going to say no, you probably haven't. Because if you did, I'll put it this way, I don't think you'd hang around long, would you? Look at that. What on earth is going on there? Those teeth that clearly, I mean, some of them you can see perfectly. Yeah, come on, surely we can all see that's photoshopped. The teeth are photoshopped, without doubt. Just round here. Are they hoping that we won't actually look that closely? I'm not sure what's going on there. It looks like basically a man that they've put big earrings on. Who are these people? What are these people? Any more tongues sticking out? Again, terrible picture quality. Of course, Kate Middleton and Prince Harry. Wow, what's wrong with his eyes? Have they literally photoshopped that in? Are those eyes just overlays? Is that what they've done? Either that or this kid's seriously ill and he's got big black rings under his eyes. I'm going to say nope. I'm not sure if you can see it, but it's just round here. Completely separate eyes have been pasted over the top. I do hope you can see that. And again on this side. Either that or someone's been punching this kid in the face because he's got black eyes. Of course, awful picture quality, always is, but... Whoa, what's going on with the nose? That doesn't quite look right to me. Again, is that another poor Photoshop job? Or is it? And why is this person's ears so tiny? don't know what's going on there. It looks like they've cut everything. They've had a hard cut on that one. Everything beyond this line had to be removed for whatever reason. That ain't right, surely. Perhaps that is the cut point on the whole picture. Let's have a look. That would be the point where nothing can overlap it from this side. Weird. The hands look a bit blurry, but who knows? This would have us believe that this one, Kate Middleton, squeezes her children's hand and screams and tells her off. Nah, they've got a whole team of people doing this sorts of things. That is not a real picture, in my opinion. No idea on that one. Couldn't care less. Perhaps they've got 3 kids. The eyes don't look as pasted on in this one, but you really can't rule it out. Let's see. Let's check those eyes again. Are they Photoshop jobs? Don't know. It can't always be a Photoshop. At some point, someone must get a legitimate photo of these people. Although, I'm not sure how well you can see it, but it is a lot more blurry around the eyes. A lot more pixelated just here. We'll revert. The image is a lot more pixelated just around the eyes compared to, and some of the eyebrows. I don't know. It's all pretty terrible picture quality though, you can be sure of that much. They never get a good image. Don't know what's going on there. That's that guy with a flat nose, of course. Okay, the nose looks very odd there, but hey ho. Wow. Could this... They look like... That must be waxwork dummies. They're not... This photo isn't so much of a parenting failure as it is of an example of elder mistreatment. How could Prince Charles go along with the idea that it would be suitable to convince the Queen to dress up in an ugly sweater? Yeah, these are just lookalikes at Madame Tussauds. Right, that makes sense then, because that looks nothing like the Queen. So that was a catch you out job. So are these, unfortunately. They're all catch you outs. They're all trying to catch you out with one or another. Right, that is the end of that slideshow, and I think it is pretty much the end of our stream for this evening. I am going to look at... Hang on. I am going to look at the live chat before I do. Tone dial. The Simulation Odyssey. Okay, great. Thanks for sharing that tone dial. We could have a quick look at that in a minute before we close for the night. If you want more fake images, of course. Yeah, that's Twitter, right. I won't get too carried away with that. We'll have a quick look at the links. Although, to be honest with you, tone dial, I'm not sure how much of it I'll play. If it's a video on Odyssey, it might be untouchable, as it were. But thank you for sharing nonetheless. Good night to Maria Ellender, if I haven't said that already. Tone dial, USA buys 13 million doses of that monkey business juice. Yeah, it doesn't surprise me. All based on, as you say, a simulator. Right, let's see. We'll open both your tabs, if we can. Where are they? Okay, one's on Odyssey and one's on YouTube. Thank you for sharing. Simulation predicts 3.2 billion. Difference with this one though, I mean, these spots that supposedly people are supposed to get, how long will that be a symptom? How long until they just say, oh no, you don't actually have to get those spots, you can still have it, you can still be a carrier?
There are growing questions today around a new and deadly outbreak.
Alright, this looks like a really great video, and I thank you for sharing it, Tone Dial, but it's got the sort of thing that says shutdown all over it. So I'm going to say to you guys watching, if you want to watch some more videos after this live stream starts, Tone Dial has shared them with you. Are they both, honestly, are they? Yeah, they are.
Actually doing what I call germ games, where you practice. You say, okay, what if a bioterrorist brought smallpox to 10 airports? You know, how would the world respond to that? You know, that there's NATO really caused epidemics, and bioterrorism caused epidemics that could even be way worse than what we experience today.
Oh, okay. Yeah, thank you ever so much for sharing the links, Tone Dial. And yeah, I would say that anyone wants to watch this, watch these videos after this stream is finished. Yeah, you've just given them a great place to see it, so thank you. I might check them out myself, actually. Let's see, what is this? Looks good, whatever it is, but I'm not gonna steal people's work. Huh, looks interesting, whatever it is. I'd be curious to know. Okay, Press for Truth. I don't know who these people are, but thanks for sharing their channel, okay? I do appreciate it. I've never really looked on Odyssey much, but I like the colour scheme anyway. Okay. I believe we've covered everything this evening. A New York Times issues correction after wrongly reporting 4,000 children have died from the condition. Wow, they've actually reported it though. That makes a change. Right, let's have a look at the live chat and then I'm going to start winding down. Okay, tonight I would like to thank Tone Dial, Maria Ellender, KG, Crazy Hippo Lady, Susan Byrne, David, Random Games, DJ Carrera. Have I said Maria Ellender? If not, I certainly meant to. Philip Wright, T. Ruth, who pointed out that monkeypox is 33 in reverse Pythagorean. Let's see, anyone else who I haven't said hello and thanks for commenting to? If so, by all means leave a comment in the chat now. Susan, I definitely said hello to you. Yeah, I'm going to wind down for the night. I haven't got too much to watch, so maybe... I don't want to steal anyone else's work, so I would feel bad about that. We'll just play out listening to some audio tonight, and I'm going to thank everyone who's taken the time to tune in. It is much appreciated that you, that you can consider joining me for our 2-hour exploration into the world of lies, the world of deception, the world of believing death is around every corner and your only hope of survival is by relying on the government. It isn't, okay? Yeah, I believe survival comes from putting faith in our God, putting faith in the government, in vaccines. I can't say anything medical, I'm not allowed to do that, or it'll mean the end of my channel. If that happens, by the way, I have got another one, Chronicles of the Unconvinced. The link is in the description. I'm also over on 153 News and BitChute. If any of you want to catch me on, basically 153 News is the place where I put anything deleted by YouTube due to their wonderful anti-censorship approach. BitChute I used when I couldn't log into 153 News, but I'm back over there now. I probably will still upload to BitChute, but 153 News is my preferred place. As I've said, they have had to change their domain name, or affix at the end of their name. It was hang on, let me bring up the video a minute, if I can. Not, where are we? Right. Yeah, they apparently, as we started the stream talking about this, after I believe they put up the video of the Buffalo incident, and they were taken down for it. And I believe that because it was a white supremacy website that also got taken down at the same time. And they put those videos out there knowing that they put certain things out there with the plan that anyone that covers it or touches it is gone. Particularly off of YouTube or Twitter or any other thing. As I mentioned, I compared it to the Emiliano Sala footballer that went missing, and someone suggested I should look at an image which was supposedly of the decapitated body of Emiliano Sala, expecting me to put it on my channel and say, hey, look, this is a fake image. You can see they've made, but I didn't touch it. Sometimes you've got to be sensible, and yeah, know when someone's trying to play you. And anyway, so in the event of censorship, we need a place like 153 News. If any of you guys are in a position to support them, I would recommend, I would suggest doing it. That's why tonight, while I massively thank my patron Linda Mack, I'm not asking you to support me over there tonight. I would say if you're in a position to support anyone, give it to 153 News. The link is, I will put a QR code up now, or there's a link in the description box, or if there isn't, there will be. Yeah, all sorts of different ways you can support them, and because having their website taken down, they've had to re-upload under a different domain, and of course they've lost loads of traffic, loads of contributors. So yeah, give them if you're in a position to give them some support, of course they're going to appreciate it. Okay, yeah, that's about it for me. I thank everyone for taking the time to tune in and listen. People, ignore their monkey business, because they'll drive you crazy otherwise. It will put you into a state of fear and terror if you allow them to get into your head. Okay? Have a wonderful week, everyone. And as I said, thanks to everyone who's taken the time to tune in and join me in the chat. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you have, learned anything. Because well, you might have learned something. It's basically, what are they, I don't know. You can't believe anything the mainstream tells you. That's what I learn every week. And that knowledge is supplanted into my head. Okay, guys. That is me done. I will try and come back. I've had a terrible couple of weeks, actually. I've been chasing some up for the last 2 weeks, and it's really been a pain. Hold on. So I've not been able to do anything on YouTube or any of the stuff that I would normally enjoy doing. Right, I am thanking my patron in the back, of course. There is a link on the screen now, as well as to 153 News, which I'm going to take down. If you're in a position to support them, please do before you support me. And I am going to try and chuck a little bit something their way, because it looks like they're in a pretty tough situation at the moment. Yes. Okay, guys. I'm going to wish you all a very good night and a very good week. And yeah, as I said, I thank everyone for taking the time to tune in. And I'm just repeating myself now. Oh, yeah. I did have another one to cover, but it's midnight now. I basically needed to confess some up. I often talk about observing the Sabbath day. Well, unfortunately, as I said, terrible week, and I ended up breaking the Sabbath day this week to my own detriment, It was my own stupidity. It made me see just how toxic the world is out there on the day of rest when we should be at home, basically being respectful of our creator and going out and, you know, laughing, drinking, not acknowledging God on the seventh day, as is the fourth commandment, then it puts you in a toxic environment, and I found myself in that. By coincidence, I was walking past this old theatre, and it's a Masonic temple, and I stuck my head in, not sure what it was, and I found myself talking about ticket prices because they were putting on a show. Anyway, yeah, I didn't. I broke the Sabbath this week, and does that mean I'm going to say, oh well, too difficult for me, I'm going to give up trying to observe the Sabbath each week? Nope, I'm going to come back next week and be even more determined to prepare and basically preparation, which is what I was unable to do the last couple of weeks due to just things being a pain, but that's all taken care of now, fortunately, and I'll try and upload some stuff in the week if I can. Okay, I've talked long enough. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Another way you can support this channel also, of course, is to... oh, where are we? Another way you can support this channel is just by hitting the thumbs up button, as it does make my content, or makes the video open to a larger audience. Share it on social media if you can, and subscribe is always appreciated. I have noticed a few new names in the chat and stuff, so I guess someone must be sharing something along the way. Okay folks, I'm saying good night, and where's my little... I do have a little logo that I put up where I thank everyone and say good night. Where is it? This one? Yeah, alright, I'm muting myself and the music, and I'll be back, if not before, I'll be back next Sunday. Thanks as always, cheerio.